Wolverine the video game is taking a pretty big beating by some critics, most of which I kind of suspect went in prepared to not like the game. It's a hack and slash adventure game in the same kind of style as God of War. It owes a lot to the God of War series, which is a smart move on the part of the people who made a Wolverine game. Raven Software is their name. It's one of those games that it is easy to find some problems with, but if you look too closely at anything, you can find some flaws with it. I think that Wolverine is a pretty fun game. Not perfect by any means. There's some clipping issues sometimes. It's got that famous Unreal Engine pop-in, which is always kind of a problem with Unreal games. But the action is lots of fun. The exploration is fine. Really good at some points, I would say, especially the Weapon X area. There's some times where things don't make as much sense. You're in the jungle and all of a sudden there's big creatures, which is fine in the Marvel universe, but in the context of the actual level you're in, it seemed a bit strange. But luckily the enemies were fun to fight against. That's kind of the main theme for me with the game, is it's just plain fun. One thing that I really like about it is this latch-on jumping feature that you've got. It's fun, it breaks up the action. It's a lot more fun than lots of other things that they've tried to do in that God of War style of game before to break up the action. And it really provides a nice change of pace from just jamming on the attack button all the time. There's some simple puzzle sections, stealth sections, lots of which kind of end up being frustrating trial and error sections. I really didn't like it that turrets can kill Wolverine, which didn't make a lot of sense. I think if they'd had more time, they could have added in kind of an animation that slowed Wolverine down and you had to hopefully get out of the way and recharge and then try again, especially because the load times are a little longer than I would like. They're not extremely long, but the problem with them is that when you're seeing them, it's when you're dying again and again and again, and that's a little bit of a problem, but it's not a major flaw in the game. The biggest thing that I take away from Wolverine is if you go in as a Wolverine fan, as a fan of the movie, wanting to experience a fun Wolverine game, you'll be rewarded. If you go into it thinking, oh god, I have to play another movie-based video game, then you're probably not going to like it. And honestly, if you're spending the money on the game in the first place, you're probably kind of predisposed to like it in the first place. The story is good in the Wolverine game. It's not great. It's regular action fodder, follows the movie and then swerves in some areas. The graphics I really like. I talked about the texture pop-in some, but the textures are really, really good in the game. The lighting's good in the game. Smoke effects, blood effects. Speaking of blood, the game is very gory. That's one of my favorite things probably about the game, is that at least on the PS3 360 versions, it's mature rated, which feels a lot more true to the spirit of Wolverine than even the movie, which I felt toned him down to such a degree that you didn't really get that conflict of him being a killing machine, and the game really highlights the killing machine nature of Wolverine while still presenting the human side struggle that he's going through and trying to fight against his B-side. Little things like the QuickTime events, which were my major concern going into the game. I'm not really good at QuickTime events, don't have the best rhythm in the world, and I found that the QuickTime events in this game were really forgiving. Overall, I say it's definitely worth buying the game. I enjoyed it. I think you'll enjoy it as long as you think that you would enjoy a Wolverine game. So, thumbs up. Buy it if you think you'd like Wolverine.
Never heard you say goodbye.